Hi there! If you're watching this, it's most likely because you know me. However, if you just randomly stumbled across this, my name is Sara Bowen. I'm from Central Florida and I'm an emotion code practitioner, which is actually the reason that I'm making this video because most of the time when I tell people that I'm an emotion code practitioner, they're like, "You're a what?" What exactly does that mean? What do you do? So I'm just going to take a few minutes today and explain exactly to you guys what it is that I do, what an emotion code practitioner is, how that can benefit you. So if you don't have time to watch the full video right now, I have typed out the description of what the emotion code is and what I do in the caption, so you can just hop down there and read through it. And also in the caption is the link to my appointment scheduler. So whenever you're ready to set up a session with me, you just click on there and you can choose the time slot that works best for you. So every person can benefit from the emotion code in some way or another. It might kind of feel like I go on a rabbit trail as I explain to you how the emotion code works, but just stick with me because I'm going to explain a few different topics to you and then tie them all together at the end so that it makes sense about what I do, because we need to understand a little bit of backstory about how our body and our subconscious works in order for what I do in sessions to make sense to you. So I personally became a believer in the emotion code last year. I had PTSD after some extreme birth situations, and I also was having gallbladder attacks. So emotion code was able to help me completely clear up those symptoms, and it just won me over. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I had done traditional counseling, I had done physical therapy, and those things all helped, but emotion code was the icing on the cake. It was what really wrapped up my healing and brought me back to myself. That helped me feel like a living, functioning human again. So after that, I was like, I have to get certified in this. What do I need to do to be able to bring this to other people? So I went through the certification process, and here I am, a certified emotion code practitioner that's able to offer you sessions and hopefully help you as significantly as I was helped. So in order to understand what exactly happens during an emotion code session, the first thing that we need to understand is what are trapped emotions. So most of you, I'm sure, have experienced some moment in life when you felt really sad or really angry, or perhaps extremely confused about how you felt at all. You were just feeling so many emotions, you were like, I don't even know what to call this emotion, okay? So sometimes when that happens, we're with someone that we don't feel safe expressing our emotion to, or we're in a situation where it feels inappropriate to express our emotion. So instead of expressing our emotion and let it out, we're just kind of like, what do I do with you? I can't feel you right now. I can't think about you. And we'll just like stick it in our backpack. We're like, oh, I'll deal with you later. I'll deal with you later, right? We just shove it down, try to ignore it, try to move on. So this is where a lot of us use this language of we're like, oh, I have so much emotional baggage, or that's so-and-so, they have a lot of emotional baggage. And what we don't realize is that emotional baggage is a lot more real than we ever imagined it to be. So Dr. Bradley Nelson is who created this, who created the emotion code, and through his studies, he has found that the average adult has approximately 350 trapped emotions, which just completely blew my mind. And then of course, if you've had any form of trauma, it's significantly higher. So that ends up creating a really heavy backpack, because most of us don't go back and sit down and like, okay, let's pull out the backpack. Let's see what's in here. Let's go through and clear this out. You know, we just keep trying to pretend like those emotions aren't real. So each of those emotions, I'll explain a little bit more about energy in a minute, but each of those emotions is actually a ball of energy. And so those balls of energy begin creating blockages in the energy that flows through our body, which is how emotions begin causing physical pain and illness. So like I said, stick with me. I'll tie it all together for you here in a second. The next thing that we need to understand is our subconscious mind. So it depends on who you talk to, but on average, most people say that throughout a normal day, we only use between 5 and 15% of our conscious mind. The rest of our day is governed by patterns that have been created in our subconscious mind. So as we're walking around as humans, we are functioning almost on autopilot, somewhere between 85 and 95% of our subconscious brain. Now, a lot of you have probably heard the analogy or the experiment that Pavlov did, where he would present the dogs with food and ring the bell, and eventually over time, all that he had to do was ring the bell and the dogs would react as if food was there, even if there was no food present. Just the ringing of the bell would cause the dogs to salivate for food. So what a lot of us have is these memories and patterns and experiences stored in our subconscious that have conditioned us to have a knee-jerk, automatic trigger response to certain things that happen in our life. So if you imagine your subconscious mind, it's like walking into a room of just endless filing cabinets. And those filing cabinets have everything that happened to you when you were one, your experiences, your memories, your emotions, how things and people made you feel. And it created these patterns and these conditioned responses to things that happen to us throughout everyday life. So that is how our subconscious has a play in this, because our subconscious has all of our emotions stored away in there, and our subconscious is also at all times aware of exactly how well our body is functioning, how well each organ is functioning, how we're feeling. Our subconscious mind knows everything about our body. The next thing that we need to understand, last time I'm going to jump topics and then I'll tie it all together for you, is that there is an energy current that flows through our body. So imagine with me for a moment that your body is much like a house, your house. So at your house, in order to be able to turn your lights on and off, you have electricity and wiring that runs through your walls. Our body has an energy current that runs through our entire body and even into the space around our body. Our energy current is not contained by our skin. And this is how our energy flows around us, much like an electricity circuit that flows through our house. So that energy connects our physical body to our subconscious mind. We are able to find out what our subconscious mind knows by using a technique called muscle testing. Muscle testing is also called kinesiology. Muscle testing doesn't hurt in any way. There are different ways that you can practice muscle testing. Muscle testing can be done by you yourself. You can stand and do a version called sway testing. With muscle testing, we ask yes or no questions. So you can ask your body yes or no questions, and your body will sway forward for yes or backwards for no. I know it sounds kind of hokey, but stick with me. I have with so many people who didn't believe this, like, oh, I'll just psych myself out. We have done blind tests where they weren't looking. I would hand them something that they would hold and ask my body, is this good for me? And their body would still respond accordingly. Everything around us is energy. Our body is also energy. And so our energy can interact with the energy of the items around us, and our subconscious mind can tell us what our body needs. So I use muscle testing during our emotion code sessions to ask your body and your subconscious what is affecting the energy flow in your body. So we do this by asking a series of yes or no questions. I have a chart that has emotions on it. And what I love about emotion code is that it's not like a traditional counseling session where you're gonna come lounge back on my couch and you're just gonna have to spill your guts to me and tell me all of your feelings. What emotion code does is it allows me to muscle test you. The other way that muscle testing is used, sorry, I realized I just skipped that, is that the person who's being muscle tested, it can hold out their arm and we can apply pressure. Your arm will hold strong for a yes answer or briefly dip for a no. And again, this goes back to the kind of picturing the wiring that runs through our walls in our house when we flip the light switch on, which is our body staying strong for yes, or we turn the light switch off, the light goes off. There's a brief disconnection in the electricity or the energy. So also, because your energy is not contained to your skin, I can muscle test on your behalf. So during a session, I won't use your arm just because over time it gets to be very exhausting. I can use my fingers and keep strong for yes or break for a no. At the beginning of every session, I will always ask permission to connect with you. And then once you have given me permission to connect with you, I will muscle test on your behalf. Back to the emotion chart that I use. You don't have to spill your emotions. We will simply ask your body and your subconscious mind what emotion is weighing on you or what is affecting your physical or mental health. You can choose a topic if you would like for the day, or we can just ask your body in general. So we will check the chart and see which emotions are affecting you. We can narrow down to exactly what age you were when you tracked that emotion, and then that's it. We ask your body if it's okay to release the emotion, and what we do with that is we use a magnet. So this is my magnet. Again, nothing with the emotion code hurts. This rolls on your governing meridian. Our governing meridian wraps from our top lip over our head and down our spine, and this is the main place that energy flows in our body. So we identify the emotion. We ask your body, are you ready to release this emotion? So it could be anger, sadness, whatever the case may be. And then we use the magnet, because I'm sure you've heard the age-old, don't put your credit card against your cell phone. Because what happens there is the energy from your cell phone cancels out the magnetic strip on your credit card, and then it will make your credit card not work anymore. The magnet, we bring the energy of the emotion to the surface, to your governing meridian, and then we use the magnet to cancel out the energy of the emotion. Like I said in the beginning, emotions are balls of energy. So we're bringing it forward. We're identifying in your subconscious and your mind, this is the emotion that I want to let go of today. We're bringing it to the surface, and then we roll the magnet down your spine or your governing meridian to dissipate this emotion so that it will no longer weigh on your mental or physical body. Some people experience immediate results after first session. See, if you have a physical pain, that will immediately be alleviated. Some people, it takes 3 or 4 sessions to really start feeling a relief. And this is because we are like onions. So every time that we communicate with ourselves, we peel back a layer. We have these layers that we have built up. I'm sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about, between us and the rest of the world to kind of protect ourselves. We don't ever always just open up and be like, oh, here, you can just get right to the core, you know. We have these layers of emotions and hurts and pains over the years that we have to slowly peel back to really get to the core of the problem. So sometimes that process is faster for certain people, or it takes a little bit more time for other people. It was about my 3rd emotion code session when emotion code was being done for me before I really felt that it was starting to help. On average, a session is anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes. I cap my sessions at 45 minutes. I haven't ever felt a need to go longer than 45 minutes. And of course, I'll work with you if that's what you need. But on average, cap a session at 45 minutes. I provide remote sessions or sessions in person. So I am based in Lake Wales, Florida. You can come directly to my office and I can work with you. Or majority of my clients I like to work with online. We'll set up a Zoom call or a FaceTime call. Energy does not know time or space. So your energy and my energy are able to interact with each other. And I simply, again, I will always ask permission to connect with you. And in that way, we're able to do a proxy or remote session. I've had great success with this. I have many of my clients. I do long distance, anywhere in the world, remote sessions to really begin helping you remove these blocks that are affecting you mentally, emotionally, physically. So I really hope that this video helped you kind of understand a basis of what the emotion code is and how it works. I know it's a lot of in-depth information, and if you're not familiar with energy or your emotions, it could sound a little overwhelming. It's a lot to take in. So please reach out, send me a message, leave a comment. I would love to further explain if there's something that you're like unsure about. And of course, I would love to see your smiling face in a session. So in the caption, there will be a link that will take you straight to my scheduler. I have my schedule set up so that you can just click on there, whatever time slot works best for you, and you can choose remote or in office. My number is on there, of course, too. So if you have a question or you don't see a time slot that works for you, please just shoot me a text or call me and let me know, because I would love to work with you, and I'm sure that we could work out a time and a space that works for both of us. So thank you for listening. I can't wait to meet you, and I hope that the rest of your day is fabulous.